1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello and welcome to Dopey podcast on drugs, addiction, and dumb shit. My name is Dave. I'm joined by Dopey YouTube producer Howard, back from Florida. How you feel?
Do I look tan?
No.
No.
You know,
I feel a little orange.
people are telling me that I either look tan or jaundiced. It's like that's not a it's like you look tan
Or sick.
or sick. So it doesn't feel great. How's the
A
trip?
little sick.
Do I look jaundiced or tan to you?
I would say you look more jaundiced than tan.
Is that true, or are you just doing shtick?
No, I could see a little yellow, is what you're saying? Let me see.
You think I look more yellow than tan?
Well, see, I can't tell now if that's your skin tone or if it's the camera.
Look at me here, dumb fuck.
Oh, right.
Yellow or tan?
Tan in real life. But on camera, I'm going to say jaundice.
I walk miles and miles and miles in the sun, and that's why I have this healthy glow. How was your trip to Florida?
It was awesome. Went to Disney
I know.
and Universal.
And?
It was great.
Howie, did you ever
happiest
go to
place on
Disney
earth.
with your wife and wear like the his and hers
No.
Mickey and Minnie shirts?
I've gone with her, but I have not worn shirts. We were actually commenting on those nut jobs that wear like what a Smith Family Vacation 2002. I'm the dad.
Howie,
Fuck
one of the
you.
most amazing things about Howie is he decided he didn't want to pay for food
Right.
at Disney World, which you got to respect. So he had a plan.
In the park.
He bought a stroller
That's right.
just for food so he could bring the food to the park.
Yeah.
So he didn't have to buy food, right? And
Well, the stroller was for the cooler.
right.
That
Lay
was
it
our
out. Just
baby.
just lay it out, please.
We bought a stroller from Amazon. We had the stroller delivered to the Airbnb.
Did you return the stroller, by the way?
No, we donated it
Okay.
to a women's shelter on the way back.
Continue.
Yeah, so we had an Airbnb. So we went food shopping, made lunch, and brought it with us.
What was the tip? I mean, Howie here, his typical lunch is tomato soup and an apple. What's your typical lunch
Salad.
out there?
Salad.
You'd make your own salad.
Yes.
What's in
make
a
my own
Howard salad?
I don't know. Chicken, lettuce, little Italian dressing,
That's it?
chickpeas,
What else?
tomato,
Cucumber?
egg white. No
Egg
cucumber.
white.
Yeah, no cucumber.
You'd do hard-boiled eggs in the salad?
Yeah, our hard-boiled eggs, just the egg whites.
Yuck.
Cut those up. Nice.
Yuck.
Boom, 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 boom. And then we got some vegetables, some fruits. Very exciting.
I can imagine you doing, like the way you did all your food yourself, handmade Bucksbaum Disney vacation shirts. Like you buy the white shirts and you draw.
There's no Disney vacation shirts, no matching shirts. None of that nonsense.
Is there any...
We all had fanny packs, though.
Really?
Those match.
Matching... What's in the fanny pack?
Charger.
Everybody had their own charger?
Everybody had their own charger, but no one needed the charger because our phones last for a day. So you don't need a charger. But we thought we did. So we had that. That's it. Very simple. Nice vacation. Mostly waiting on lines.
Wow. Okay. Very good.
Anyway.
I'm glad you're back.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you the story about when I threw my couch out the window. Okay? Are you excited to hear this
I'm
story?
very excited.
All right. So the year was probably 2001. I was near the end of my glorious time in Manhattan, my first run in Manhattan. I had lived there from 1974 to 2001. And ask me questions if you feel like it.
Sure.
And I basically every day and night would sit on my couch and smoke cigarettes and smoke pot and shoot heroin and take pills. And it was a night like no other, or like every other. And I sat on this, I had this love seat that I had gotten from my grandmother that was made with green corduroy that I really loved. And we'll show a picture with of the couch, and Todd is on the couch in the picture, and John is on the couch in the picture, both of which are Dopey guests. Todd, of course, died 3.5 years ago of a drug overdose. Anyway, I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm smoking, and I'm nodding out, and I'm high, and I'm watching probably Oz on TV, and I feel something hot underneath me. And I figure it's like I dropped a cigarette or something, which I was known to do. And I start looking for the cigarette, and I don't find it. And I sit back down, and I smoke, and I watch TV, and I eat cookies or whatever I'm doing. And again, I get this feeling that there's something underneath me that's hot.
Yeah.
And I look for harder. You know, I mean, I look up, I pick up the cushions. I don't see any cigarette. I don't.
You were by yourself?
By myself.
Oh, okay.
I don't see any smoke. And I'm like, all right, that's weird, you know, and I put it back down, and I'm watching TV, and I'm smoking, and I'm shooting heroin, I'm hanging out, and I feel it again, but it's hotter, and I'm like, fuck. So I start looking more and more and more and more, and I undo the couch cushions again, and I'm looking for...
How big is this couch that you're looking so hard?
I couldn't find it. It's just 2 seats, but I couldn't find the fire. But then I turn my head, and you know how like you lift up the cushions? I didn't look at the other side of the cushion. And the other side of the cushion is smoldering, a crater like this, black, but just a tiny rim of orange burning out slowly the corduroy. And I'm like, holy shit. But the cushions are also starting to burn. So I like grab a cushion and I throw it out the window, and as soon as it hits the night air, it bursts into flames. And then I see it's spreading, and it's not fire, but it's smolder. So the smolder is spreading. So I start throwing the couch cushions out the window, and every piece of cushion that I throw bursts into flames like this poetic rain of fire.
Are you sure this really happened?
I'm sure it really happened.
Okay.
And I'm doing this, throwing it, and then I hear, Dave! And I look out the window, and it's a cop, Mark, the cop from my neighborhood, from the building that I had grown up in, who's like a cop in the neighborhood, but he also lived in the building that I grew up in. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? Because I'm throwing, at this point, I've thrown like this much shit out the window, and it's on the ground. He's like, can you please come down here and clean this up? And I'm like, okay. And then I run into the kitchen, and I take a bucket, like a glass of water, and I throw it on the couch. So it's like, psh, and all the smoke comes up, and the couch is now creviced with this horrible crusty.
In the apartment.
Yeah. The cushion is like this, and the underside is like that.
So you've thrown out all the removable parts.
Yeah.
Those are out the window.
Yeah.
And now the couch is on fire.
Yeah, but it's not burning.
Slow burn.
Yeah, but so I cover it with water. Then I run downstairs, and he's like, "Dave, you okay?" And I'm like, "Eh," and I'm kind of just like, whatever, undoing it, you know, cleaning it all up. I'm like, "All right, good night, Mark," and I go outside, and I throw out all the cushions in the garbage, and then I go back upstairs, and the couch is ruined, you know, which is just heartbreaking to me, and the next day, I bring the couch to the garbage room in the building, and that night is garbage night. And I'm walking down the street, and I find a new couch, and I bring the new couch home, but it smells like it smells bad, and I'm like, ugh.
You wouldn't expect that from a couch you find on the street.
And soon after that whole thing had happened, I had agreed to go to rehab, so I lost the apartment and whatever, and I went to rehab. Now you fast forward, then I went to Florida, went to California, got addicted to, you know, meth and heroin and like everything, methadone for 7 years. And I come back to Manhattan, and I get Linda pregnant, and I get a job at Katz's, and I'm just doing this very fast. And then I'm addicted to heroin again on the Lower East Side 10 years later. And I'm going, and there's a dealer, a horrible dealer who, just a junkie dealer, and he refused to come see me. He's like, I'll be there in 15 minutes. I'll be there in 15 minutes. And I'm just like, and I don't like to go out and cop because I'm scared. Like, I'm scared I'm going to get arrested. But it's like an hour now. And he lives like 10 minutes away. So I'm like, fine, I'll go, and I'll go meet you. And I go meet him to cop some heroin, and I get arrested. Okay? And I go to jail.
What do you mean? You get arrested?
On Water Street in Manhattan, buying heroin.
With him?
Yeah, we both get arrested. And we go to jail. And the next day I'm released, but they have my phone, so I have to go to the property building, and it's in the basement by City Hall, and I go down there, and the cop who works property is fucking Mark, the cop who saw me throw my burning couch out the window 10 years later. And he's like,
God.
Dave, you know what I mean? And I'm like, Mark, and he gives me the phone. He's like, oh, you got to get your shit together. And then fast forward another 4 years later, and I'm clean and sober and waiting tables at Katz's. And who's sitting at the table but Mark? And he's like, oh, you got your shit together. And I'm like, yeah,
nice.
I remember that time I threw my couch out the window. And he's like, oh, yeah, you were fucked up.
Could you imagine every single time he's come into your life, it's been like, oh, my God.
But then recently, I saw him on the street, and he's like, Dave, you're doing so well, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, do you remember the time I gave you $20 and like, I scammed him out of $20 or something, and my dad paid him back. Like, so the last time I saw him, he zinged me with shame, you know?
And you don't even remember that.
No, I still don't remember if it was true or not, but that's the story of Mark the cop and how I threw my flaming couch out the window.
And how long ago was it that you saw him last?
I probably saw him 4 years ago, and he asked me to cater some cop event.
And he's still working?
He's probably just retired.
Yeah, you'd think he'd be
I saw him
retired.
the other day, yeah.
Oh, my God. I want to know more about... So the couch caught on fire because of what? A cigarette?
Cigarette, yeah.
I can't believe that the couch caught... Like, the whole thing caught on fire.
It was because the corduroy was so slowly
guess so.
flammable.
Right.
So what do you
The
think
wick.
about this story?
I mean, the story is ridiculous for a number of reasons. But now, what I want to know is, when you were growing up, you said he grew up in the building next to you?
He
Or
was
he's
a
much
young
older?
adult. He's probably 15 years older than me, 20 years
So
older.
he's
than me.
kind of known you your whole life.
Yeah. And I was a good kid when I knew him for a long time.
So he
like,
knew you as a good kid.
Yeah.
Then
yeah.
he knew you as the guy. So how long had it been before you threw a burning couch at him? How long? What was the?
He it's like when you live in buildings like that, you know, it's public housing in Manhattan, and I was like an archetype, basically. I mean, I had my own specific situation or circumstances, but
Right.
I knew a bunch of kids in the building that were men when I was a kid that were fuck ups, that were like asking my dad for money, and when like they'd get in the elevator with us and leave, my dad would be like, you know, and I became one of those
became one
people.
of those people.
And those people were kind of my role models.
That's great.
Because I remember in the end of my addiction in Manhattan, I would go around, and this is shameful, I would go around the buildings asking for money to cop the last time because I knew I wouldn't see anybody again. And then even more shameful, this is what a horrible, scamming, manipulative drug addict I was. Right before I went, I said to my dad, I said, I need to pay those people back. So will you come with me? He goes, I'm not giving you the money to pay them back. And I was like, fine, why don't you come with me and you can wait off to the side and I'll pay them. And every person I paid back, I told my father it was twice as much as I actually owed. And I took half the money and I paid the person back, and I like put the money in my pocket or whatever. And then after I paid them back, I went and copped again. And that's
Unbelievable.
I know, horrible.
That's addiction.
That's addiction. And that's the couch, the old neighborhood couch, Mark the Cop story.
The burning couch.
Yes.
Copping
yes.
money story.
So stay strong, Dopey Nation. It's a fucked up story. The addiction is not a good place to be. But I'm sober for a while, and it's a much better life. And don't trust anyone in your building that wants to borrow money. Unless, I mean, give them some money, but no, you're probably not going to get it back. Stay strong, Dopey Nation, and fucking toodles for Chris.
No, baby, I'm face down on the floor. No, baby, please, sir, can I have some more? No, baby.